So, are there any questions so far? Yeah.
Do you ever do the dead strokes on the bass drum like you do on the zabumba?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever do the dead strokes and open strokes like you do on the bass?
He's asking a good question about the open and closed strokes on the zabumba, if I ever do that on the bass drum. I do sometimes. It depends on the context of the music that I'm playing. If I'm in a really kind of hard-hitting Forró dance band, which in Brooklyn and New York we have a lot of these bands happening right now. Forró music's becoming really popular. But if I'm in a really hard-hitting band, I don't worry about the open-close. You know, it's kind of hard to get, you know, especially if the bass drum's not mic'd properly, it's kind of hard to hear. But I definitely, you know, in certain instances, I will use that for sure. It's a good question. Any other questions? Well, okay, that's actually a great question. He's asking about Maracatu. What type of opportunity are we ever going to have to play this rhythm, especially in the United States? I ask myself that a lot too. And essentially, I've kind of built my own niche for Maracatu. I have a Maracatu group in Brooklyn. We have about 50 members of the group. There's a lot of Maracatu groups popping up all over the country. The fact of the matter is, I started my own band called Nation Beat so that I could play this music and this rhythm here in the United States. Because it's not like you can just go to the jam session on the corner of 14th Street and 3rd Avenue and be like, yeah guys, let's play that Maracatu, you know that song, Not Go, and everybody's gonna know it. It's not gonna happen. So you've gotta kind of be creative and create your own situations for playing this music. Write music for yourself, compose music for yourself that utilizes these rhythms and the concepts that you'll come up with by practicing these rhythms. You've just got to write the music for yourself. Because if you wait for somebody to call you to play a Maracatu rhythm on their record, it might not ever happen. You know, but if you start recording your own records or make your own band and write yourself into it, it'll happen. So that's essentially how it's happened for me. I started my band, Nation Beat. We tour the country a lot, and you know, I get to play the music I like playing. You know, I don't think he's asking if I would, when teaching this rhythm, if I'd work from hand to feet or feet to hand. I don't believe there's any standard way of starting. I think it depends on the student. Everybody's going to learn differently. So I usually, you know, start with the snare drum pattern. And then once, you know, I feel comfortable with that, I would say, okay, let's add the bass drum. And then after that, you start adding, you know, the left foot. You know, and then you go on. But I don't think there's a formula for where I would start. It depends on the student. Sure, absolutely. He's asking about pandero and combining pandero with drum set, and I will definitely. I actually happen to have a pandero with me. So I'll play a Baião or a Forró groove for you guys, using the pandero and a little bit of the drum set. This is a concept that I'm still working on. There's a lot of people, you know, doing things very similar to this. Basically, you got the pandero part. And you can go on forever. Any rhythm you want. I mean, if you're really into samba, bossa nova. I find that this is really cool to have this in your arsenal, to be able to pick up the pandeiro, even if you're just, a drum set player and you don't play a lot of percussion. It's a very nice thing to have in your arsenal because it's a beautiful color to be able to change. So many times as drummers we just get stuck to the same things. Ride cymbal, hi-hat pattern, ride cymbal, hi-hat, ride cymbal, hi-hat. Every once in a while some snare drum stuff, but it's really nice to be able to pick up the pandeiro and completely change the color that you're using. So this is a really great instrument to start checking out and really study. Yeah, he's asking me about samba. The thing is, Vera is here, and you should ask her that question because she's the expert at samba. I've studied samba, but I'm really not here to talk much about the samba drumming. I'd rather talk about Northeastern stuff. But your question about the triplets and the swing, I'm not thinking about the swing, or the triplets. I don't think triplets, or I don't think about the 16th notes. I got to a point where I've listened to the music enough that I have the sound in my ear. It's like it's a language, and so it's like if I ask you about your accent, well, how do you talk with that accent? You can't really explain how you're speaking. If I start talking like this, where I come from, I don't know why people talk like this, and I don't know how they talk like it. I just know this comes out. Okay? So it's an accent that is very hard to put into a context of triplets or 16th notes. Sorry to... I'd like to play a little more pandeiro for you guys, though.